Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Impact Review for the 13th of May 2021. Honestly, Impact is I won't say dying brand. They are a struggling brand right now because the only thing that really pops is the AEW involvement, which I don't think is good for business. This is the go home for Under Siege, which is, in my estimation, a horrible name for a network per view. Anyway, Tasha Steelz with Kiera Hogan defeated Jordana Grace with Rachel Ellering on the BTI pre-show. As mentioned every week, I think pre-shows are stupid for, you know, if you're going to do a pay-per-view, then do a pre-show to get people to buy it. But pre-shows in wrestling as a whole are just dumb. Anyhow, if it's wrestling and it's happening in a building, it's part of the show. Anyway, Havoc defeats Rosemary with Decay to earn a Knockouts title match at Under Siege. Um, Story of the match is pretty basic here, and I don't want to say bad, but it's kind of rudimentary. These two have known each other well, and they're quite equal in terms of power. Um, Basically, they match off with spots early on. Havoc gets control of the match and uses strength to her advantage, works over Rosemary with her head, combination submission and strikes. On the canvas, Rosemary um, uses the upside down spot to make a comeback and hits a beautiful flurry of offense. I think Rosemary is one of the most talented women they have in the division, and she hits a spear. There's a near fall. Havoc recovers and drops Rosemary with a pile driver for the win. It makes sense that this is where they go, but at the same time, I still think Rosemary, there's more meat on that particular character than there is in the Havoc character. Post match, Purrazzo and company come out to attack Havoc. Havoc gets the upper hand, takes out Purrazzo with a pile driver. Decay gets rid of Kimberly and Susan. And then Gia Miller interviews the Good Brothers, Kenny Omega, Don Callis. She asks about the momentum the Good Brothers have over FinJuice. Anderson said the momentum will continue. Omega said that he is the reason why the momentum is actually back, not because of Anderson and Gallows, which I guess is teasing some sort of break between them at some point. Omega is wearing 3 championships around his waist. For those that complain that he doesn't carry the titles, Omega is quite hilarious when he told Miller she didn't have what it took to join the Elite. El Phantasmo defeats Petey Williams, Ace Austin with Madman Fulton, Rahat Raju with Shira, TJP, and AC Romero with Larry Dean, a 6-man scramble to earn an X Division Championship match at Under Siege. These 6-people matches are just goofy. Why? If you want to look like a competitive program that is about, athletic competition, then these multi-person matches should be kept to a minimum, not done nearly every week. Anyway, um, while Austin, TJP, and Raju have a history around things, the rest of everybody doesn't really get together here. The start of the match revolves around Romero with everyone wanting to take him out. Romano manages to take out most people, and then ELP and TJP wrestle inside the ring. ELP does the rope walk, dodging Williams, grabs Austin, and hits a DVD from the ropes onto the floor. That was a completely unnecessary spot for a TV match. Back in the ring, we get a short sequence from TJP and Raju following Austin and ELP taking down Romero and Williams, hitting the Destroyer on ELP for the near fall. Destroyer is such an overused move. I don't think it had nearly the impact it normally would have. And then, we go to the match continues. Everyone coming in and out of the ring, hitting their spots. Pin attempts are interrupted and reversed. So Like I said, the match becomes a car crash rather than an athletic contest. ELP hits the uh, CRL on Williams for the win. Whole match is, I don't know. A lot of people like this sort of thing. I despise it. I think it kills the image that wrestling is competitive. ELP will face Josh Alexander for the X Division title Under Siege. Susan and Kimberly get a meeting with Scott D'Amore. Susan has evidence that Dashwood cheated in Susan's match with Taylor Wilde. Susan wants a tag match with her and Lee against Dashwood and Wilde at Under Siege. Promo by Violent by Design. Eric Young talking about their spirits not being shattered after Rhino lost his spot at the number one contendership match at Under Siege. Young says that failure is not tolerated and asks himself why he created this problem till he understood the sickness that was embroiled in the root. He took a more violent plan going forward, and I don't know. This feels like a psychotic promo just for promo's sake. Anyway, over at Swingers Palace, Alicia Edwards now works for Swinger after losing all her money. TJP put a bet on himself to be the number one contender for the tag titles. Now Austin and Fulton also wanted a shot at that until Triple XL and Raju and Shira all walked up saying they all wanted a shot at the tag titles. And then we're going to go to a four-way number one contenders match with TJP teaming with Petey Williams. Too much, just complete chaos for the sake of chaos. Willie Mack defeats Sam Beadle. Beadle gets squashed by Morrissey last week, and now he's taking on Morrissey's Under Siege opponent, Willie Mack. Another squash. Beadle gets a little bit of offense. Mack wins with a pop-up forearm and a 6-star frog splash. What a stupid name. Let's pat Dave Meltzer on the back because, well, he spends enough time patting other people in other places to get some sort of wannabe credibility. Anyway, after the match, Morrissey attacks Mack from behind, tosses Beal and hits a big boot on Mack. Miller interviews Finjuice and Edwards. Finley said that Omega and the Good Brothers are cowards for jumping them last week. Anderson knows he can't beat them in a fair fight. Tonight, Finley will defeat Anderson, and tonight Edwards will be out there with them. Edwards says he's bringing Kenny his own kendo stick to deal with Kenny. Then we get a new installment of All About Me with Tennille Dashwood, special guest Taylor Wilde. Wilde wants to talk to Dashwood about getting involved in Wilde's match last week. Wilde tells Dashwood she would team with her at Under Siege because she wanted to get rid of Susan and Lee, but she wanted to make it clear that they're not friends, partners, or anything of the sort. Dashwood didn't get the hint, and so that's that. Then we move to David Finlay with Juice Robinson and Eddie Edwards defeating Carl Anderson with Gallows, Omega, and Callis. So basically, it's a trios match here, or more accurate, no, it's a singles match to set up the trios match. Match starts intense. Omega and Robinson starts to interfere just about 1 to 2 minutes into the match. Everybody's tripping their respective opponents. Distraction leads to Anderson gaining control. Referee gets distracted. Omega and Gallows attack Finlay. Back in the ring, Anderson works over Finlay's head and neck. Finlay makes a comeback with a couple of minutes, and Omega and Gallows try to stop them from getting involved. Finish comes when Finlay locked in the Scorpion Deathlock. Omega jumps in and gets the DQ. Post-match, babyfaces clear the ring and challenge Omega and company to get in the ring. Sabin cuts a promo talking about feeling guilty that he wasn't out there with James Storm when he lost to Moose. He said that he told that Moose tonight in the main event he's coming straight for him. Recap of Tasha Steelz defeating Jordana Grace on the BTI. Grace cuts a promo backstage saying she lost momentum she had going, but Ellering told her that everything is okay and they'd win at Under Siege. Fire and Flav have been telling Grace that she's a weak link. Grace has started to believe it. Then, kind of a throwaway match here. Brian Myers defeats Crazy Steve with Decay. Myers lost his Under Siege qualifying match to Matt Cardona to become easy prey for Decay, and now he's feuding with them. Myers pretends to get attacked by Taurus. Now the referee would send Taurus to the back. Myers got control and worked over Steve, but later quickly makes a comeback and just is able to capitalize. Myers got him with a roll-up and handed to ropes for the win. Taurus returns and spears Myers. Myers and Taurus will take place at Under Siege. Miller interviews Don Callis about the chaotic ending of the Anderson-Finlay match. D'Amore walks up to them and tells Callis that he's been messing around with the talent, and because he's provoking Moose, that Storm gets injured and now Storm is gone. D'Amore tells Callis that he needs to figure out whether he's Omega's family or Impact's EVP. Issues start there. Moose, Sami Callihan, and Chris Bay defeat Matt Cardona, Trey Miguel, and Chris Sabin. These 6 men all won qualifying matches to advance to 6-way at Under Siege. More multi-person matches. Why in the world? And I know what it is. I was in the independents and saw people do this. Oh, well, this person showed up, so let's just throw them in a multi-person match. Oh, well, this person's on the ring crew, let's put them in a multi-person match. Knock that off. It contributed to killing wrestling in general. Anyway, match starts with a couple of pair-ups. Members of each team. Momentum goes with babyface side. Moose makes his presence felt in a big way, taking up Miguel, allowing Bay to take control of the contest. Heel side gets heat for several minutes on Miguel, and then they work over his midsection. Miguel eventually makes a comeback, gets tagged to Cardona, who comes in hot and runs over Bay and Callihan. All of them come in and hit their signature moves because that's what we do, because we want to be All Japan. And then Sabin hits the Cradle Shock on Callihan, who blocked it and hits a package pile driver for the win. Anyway, post-match, Callihan and Moose go face-to-face, and then Don Callis is watching Sami Callihan celebrate on screen, so maybe Callahan's the one that defeats Kenny Omega, which wouldn't be good for business either. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.